Hi Sanya,
हाय औरिक।
how are you doing?
आई एम डूइंग गुड। पर हर समय मैं फिर से ये कॉल आउट करूंगी एंड हर समय क्यों पूछते हैं यार हम एक दूसरे को एक क्वेश्चन, ऐसे तो कौन सच्चा आंसर दे रहा है जैसे।
नहीं बट वो बोलते बोलते सच्चा आंसर कभी ना कभी तो निकल ही आएगा ना।
नहीं,
हाँ।
नेवर एवर। हाउ आर यू? फाइन, बढ़िया चल रहा है यार, यही होता है, यही बोलता है हर कोई।
See, today's topic is also about asking the right questions. It is not about the questions. The questions can feel very menial and stupid and uh, unorthodox, right? Or orthodox in some sense कि भाई ये तो simple है, हम तो रोज ही पूछ सकते हैं. But it is not the questions, it is the answers that matter. So what we're talking about, people, is the fact that there is a psychological test out there जिसका नाम है 36 questions that lead to love. ठीक है? And it's been written about in different publications around the world, and इसकी efficacy भी काफी सही सी है depending on how honestly you answer this. So back in 2015, as researchers, scientists, psychologists actually developed this questionnaire. The questions are very basic, surface level se leke deep questions about your life. And once you answer those very honestly with your partner, when you participate and give them honest answers about your life and let them peer into your soul, the chances are that you will get to know if you can fall in love with them, or you will actually fall in love with them, or you will know that you have to get away from them or detract from them.
Okay, so my idea of this entire questionnaire was these seem to be sort of icebreaker like questions, so you can ask people to get to know them. But definitely, if you ask them this, then you would get a better understanding about their personality. So it would be a good sort of, I don't know, call it a game or
No,
whatever.
but this is not an icebreaker. Like I said, I'll tell you, it's not an icebreaker because the first few questions are very basic and very surface level. As you get deeper, I'm not sure a lot of people on first, second, third dates are going to answer those questions as well, right? So
okay, then I think I am the only person, and I keep feeling this, and that is true. That I am so freaking open. मैं तो first second date पे भी बोल ही दूंगी यार. It is what it is.
you
तुम्हें
are
6
open, na, but
महीने
the
बाद
rest of the
पता
world
लगे,
is not
पहले
you.
अभी पता लग जाए ना.
No,
better
bilkul,
है.
but the rest of the world is also not you. So depends who
Yeah,
opens up and who does not
sadly.
open up. Yeah. So anyway, listeners, we'll actually play this game. We picked up a few questions that we want to answer about ourselves. But I would encourage all of you to actually go and look at this exercise and see if you can do this with your respective partners, partners that you are involved with right now, or you are going to get involved with somebody.
Okay, starting now.
Yeah, without any further ado, please
Yes.
do the honors. So we'll also announce the number of question number kya tha in that list, so that you can also relate to it and look for it
Yeah,
very
because
easily.
this is a very specific list.
Yeah.
So
alright.
yeah.
So yeah, you start.
Okay, so I'll ask you the first question. This is question number 2 on the list, which says, "Would you like to be famous? In what way?"
Okay. Yeah, so to answer that, yes, I want to be famous, and this is one of the reasons why I'm doing this podcast. But I want to be famous in a larger way, where I want to influence millions of people so that we can bring greater good to the society and to the world. Something like international thought leader कि मैंने ये बोला, चलो ये solve करते हैं तो ये ऐसे solve हो गया. So in that way, I would want to be famous.
Interesting.
So my question to you, Sanya, is question number 1 from the list, which is the most basic questions, which we also see on some dating apps, which is, given a choice of anyone in the world, who would you want as a dinner guest?
That is an interesting question. I would say I would love to have Ryan Reynolds on my, I would love to invite him for dinner because I'll tell you why. Again, I know, and I keep telling this to people as well. I speak about love and relationships. I write about it. So this is a huge topic of interest for me. And I think that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's relationship is sort of goals. So I would definitely love to get some insight on how they are able to do what they do. And I actually want to know what goes on behind the scenes a little bit. So yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, so my next question to you, Aurick, is this is question 6 on the list, which says, if you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, which would you want?
Yeah, it's a very obvious question, right? Like, I'm sure a lot of people will answer the same way, but for me, yes, I want the body of a 30-year-old because
yeah, it is
over
obvious.
a period of 60 years, I would gain a lot of experience which I can utilize and implement only if I have the body of a 30-year-old, right? And that is another thing that you can do in real life as well, right? A lot of people run marathons even in their late 60s, 70s. If you keep a body which is relevantly young, right, you can do so much more and implement all your ideas. You can have a happier, healthier life. So yeah, definitely the body of a 30-year-old.
I agree.
Okay, so my next question to you is, which is question number 3 on the list, which is, Before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you are going to say and why?
Dear Lord, I wish I've ever rehearsed before saying things. I never do that. Like, this just comes naturally to me, believe it or not. I don't know if you guys would believe it or not, but we do not rehearse even before the podcast, and it does not look like we don't know what we are talking about. It looks very natural, seems very natural, seems almost as if हमने शायद पहले कुछ तो prepare किया होगा, but this is literally, obviously we have an idea about what we are going to talk about. We have some basic pointers that we want to touch base on, but it is never scripted. This is not scripted. So, coming back to the question, I never rehearse before I say anything. That I literally rely on me and my personality, which I would like to believe is good enough to be able to strike a conversation. So, yeah, I just go for it.
Interesting.
I never rehearse.
Like a lot of things in my life, 5-7 years back, I used to actually do this, rehearse what I want to say on the call.
Does it help?
But actually it does, because you're not sure what the person's going to react to. Now, because I don't give a F about what people will think, I have to be honest to them. So मैं अपने मन की बात बोलता हूँ, but now I also don't fear, because I'm like, जो बात बोलनी है वो बोलनी ही है.
Exactly, and मेरा हमेशा से वही idea रहा है कि यार जो मुझे मन में है और जो बोलनी है, obviously it is not going to be disrespectful, but then अगर if I have a point to put forward, then I'm going to put it forward. So yeah, obviously if it is a meeting, then you are going to rehearse, but yeah, this is a phone call, so fine. Question 14 is there something that you've dreamed of doing for a long time, and if you have not achieved it till now, why haven't you done it?
Interesting. Why haven't I done things that I want to do is because, like almost everyone, we are different levels of lazy and procrastinators, right? But this year, I did something which was very cool, which now has been cut off my bucket list, which is I wanted to do improv or something around stand-up comedy. So I took my first improv class, and I was thinking very passively that I want to do it, and I searched a few places, but then I was like, this year 2024 is going to be the year when I actually go behind a lot of things that I want. So probably this year, the one thing that I really want to do, which might happen in March, is I want to go scuba diving. So
yeah.
So hopefully I get that, and at some other future episode I tell people that yes, मैंने कर लिया scuba diving.
I tried snorkeling and it was fun, but scuba even I want to try. I'm a little bit scared because I'm not a swimmer.
Okay.
So breathing underwater and all of that is like a little bit scary to me, but then ठीक है.
Interesting.
Anyway,
all right. So I'm gonna ask you question number 4 from the list, which is, what constitutes a perfect day for you?
That is interesting. So for me, company matters a lot, and obviously I can have a fun day on my own as well, and I've again been there, done that. But I prefer company. I'm an extrovert. I like talking to people and connecting with people. So if I have excellent company, वो बोलते हैं ना, it does not really matter where you are exactly. You just need the company. So it also depends on your mood and the kind of people you are with. So for me, a perfect day would usually be like you go. It depends when it's this starting. If it is like an evening thing, then probably dinner and drinks or a house party. Anything is fine by me as long as I have the right set of people. So yeah, I don't know why you smiled.
I smile because somebody likes house parties a lot.
Yes, obviously I do.
Recently happened.
Recently थोड़ा हो गया, मतलब in a series में हो गया. Otherwise, it is sort of like a one-off event.
Nice.
I would not mind if it happened every week also, but it does not, so it's fine. People have their schedules. You know what? Having said that, people have their schedules. Sometimes I feel people's schedules are bullshit. Okay, ठीक है, everyone is busy and all of that, and you should be. That is not the point. But if you want to take time out for something, you can take time out for this. And I think both of us have done this, right? For the podcasts, we have sometimes been a little very near the deadline, and we are like, okay, we need to do this. So we literally just stop everything in the middle of the day, and we're like, you know what, we have to do this, so let's just do this. So I always feel it's about priorities, and if you're like a normal corporate person, which most of the people usually though I interact with are, so yeah, you have weekends free, man. Come on, matlab, stop bullshitting people. Like, you have time. You just don't want to make time for some people and make time for the other people.
Right.
So anyway, okay. So the next question is question 16 on the list, which is
14.
We did 14, no?
Oh yeah, we did 14. Sorry.
Yeah. So question 16 is, what do you value most in a friendship?
Interesting question. This is one of those questions which I actually did not even care to answer because I didn't believe a lot in friendship.
Yeah,
and
this
long-term friendship.
guy thinks that friendships don't exist
No,
apparently.
not true, but I've had very few friends because I'll tell you why. A lot of people think that friendship is all about spending time and giving time to each other and going gung ho about everything. I don't think that is friendship. Friendship is all about, when you meet even after decades, you still feel that same feeling. It's not about तूने मेरे लिए ये नहीं किया, मैंने तुम्हारे लिए ये नहीं किया, we didn't do this, we didn't go out, we didn't hang out for a while. That is not friendship. That is just you wanting another person to hang around with you, right?
True.
So yes, I do have best friends. I have two best friends in this country. They live in different parts of the country right now. One lives in my same city. But what I value most in friendships is pretty much the fact that you are free to do whatever you want and free from judgment, right?
Yeah.
Your friends don't actually judge you for not being there. When you need them, when they absolutely need you, you can be there for them. But if you can't, then they will also understand, right?
That is what a true friendship is. कभी-कभी मुझे लगता है पता है क्या, relationships should also be like that. I am not saying that you are supposed to mess around and fuck around with other people. I'm just saying that maybe if we just gave that much freedom in a relationship to the other person, maybe, it would work.
But that's the whole point, right? Not a lot of people need freedom in relationships. Sometimes they want to get into relationships because they wanted each other or they had a gap in their lives that they needed somebody to fill.
नहीं वो gap तो fill हो रहा है, but maybe, and I think we spoke about this, let people have their own lives and still come back to
But that
each
is
other.
again borderline open relationships only.
No यार, not open relationship. पता नहीं मैं जब भी ये बोलती हूँ तो लोग हमेशा यही सोचते हैं कि I'm talking about open relationships, and I know that is how it sounds. That is not what I mean by it. I just mean that both of you have like enough space to do whatever you want throughout the day, and then you have some sort of set time or whatever.
But that is exactly what happens. Anyways, we will talk about this in detail in our marriage episode and expectations from marriages and what happens before and after marriages.
Not long-term relationships in
long-term
general
relationships also. But then marriages are now getting more and more elusive, right?
Yeah, so, true.
Marriage जिसकी हो जा रही है भाई तुम बहुत lucky हो.
हाँ,
जिसकी टिक जा रही है तुम उससे भी ज़्यादा lucky हो.
Exactly. क्योंकि हो तो मैं देख रही हूँ बहुत लोग कर ले रहे हैं बल्क में, but टिकना is another ball game altogether आजकल. So yeah.
All right. Chalo. I'll ask you the next question, which is question number 5 from the list, which is when did you last sing to yourself and how about to someone else?
So I always sing to myself only because I don't have like a singing voice to sing for other people. But again, I don't care. I'm not a dancer either, but I have a lot of energy. So I dance if I am drunk enough and if there is enough music, I'm going to dance. Or even if I'm not drunk, literally yesterday, एक बारात जा रही थी, which was playing the shadiest music that you would have heard, all of those weird, एकदम छपरी वाले गाने. And me and my flatmate just went out in the balcony. We were standing in the balcony and we randomly started dancing to that shady music. So yeah, but singing, I would say I love singing to myself all the time. If I am in my room and I just want to play some background music, I'll play on some music and I'll sing along to it. Or if I'm in a car, I definitely love singing to songs in the car. That is one of my favorite things.
Have you ever sung to someone romantically or in a funny way?
No. You do that.
I do that a lot.
You do that.
I make random.
This person, at the risk of giving more information out, this person sends that to people he's interested in and to friends. Like he sometimes sings.
Not like that. So like I'll do a live version of Hi Saniya, क्या बढ़िया काम चल रहा है, हम podcast पे मस्ती भी कर रहे हैं.
I know, it's sweet.
So just jingling around with random words is also singing for someone. To someone.
Yeah,
it also elevates the mood a little, right? Like when you go through a very shitty day and office में सारा भसड़ हो रखा है, if somebody sends this funny text, and you don't have to be Lata Mangeshkar.
This is why I'm funny, people. मैं सबका ऐसे उतार कर रही हूँ. लोग इस चीज को seriously नहीं लेते, which we are going to talk about in one episode, how people are stereotyped on the basis of one or two things in their personality. But anyway, let's move on to the next question.
Yes.
Which is, okay, so question 17 on the list, and it says, what is your most treasured memory?
Interesting. So as a person, I've always been conflicted about what I wanted in life, right? For me, what achievements are to myself. And in those cases, it has always been around what I've done in my professional sphere and what achievements I've done. But recently, I've also realized that as I'm getting older, I'm realizing the value of people and friends and family at most. So I think now I'm a little confused between what is my most cherished memory or most treasured memory. But I think it would be taking a road trip with my father to Ladakh, my father and Masi in tow, because for the longest time when I moved to Delhi in 2015, I was like, Ladakh jana hai, perfect gaadi honi chahiye, perfect dost hone chahiye, ya plus one hona chahiye. And I'm like, when I actually had bought this recent vehicle that I bought, and I was like, this is the vehicle that can go to the hills. Let me take someone and let me go out, right? I don't want to sit around moping ki main ja nahi pa raha, complain nahi karna. So I took my father and my Masi along, and because it was one of my most important things that I wanted to do in my personal life, I was like, I was equally as happy. So taking a trip with my father and making him happy and how he feels happy when I see him happy. But my most treasured memory around profession again is being able to speak at an international level where I spoke at COP27. So I think it's a mix of my professional and personal life, which ultimately makes my father proud. So that is what I've realized. Anything that makes my mother and my father and my family proud is my most treasured memory.
Oh, that is sweet. Also, now that we are discussing this, this just came to me. I'm like, if you actually discussed all of these questions, and हमने तो सारे cover भी नहीं किए. This is just 20 questions out of the 36. It would definitely help you bond with them a little bit more, because again, this information मुझे नहीं पता लगती तेरे बारे में, because we did not talk about this. So
Exactly.
yeah, this might work. People go for it. But yeah, मतलब don't do this ekdam initially. I would say, because some people are not very, they get very disturbed with questions. Try to get to know them on like some certain level, and then maybe if you're like 1-2 weeks into the talking stage, then you can be like, oh, I have this one idea, and do you want to do
Absolutely.
this?
No, but I'll also tell you from my perspective that sometimes women are thrown around stupid questions on dating apps and all of that, and I sometimes just ask them, can we play this game which is psychologically accepted, so that we can have fun also and get to know each other, rather than just asking boring questions. How was your day? What did you do? What do you like doing?
How was your day? See, I know one of my worst questions after how are you doing is how was your day, or how is your day going, or whatever. And I also do it. So I'm guilty of doing this, because yeah, this is और क्या पूछोगे तुम? But then I'm like, इसका जवाब भी क्या ही होता है? Like, not everybody has a very dynamic life. Most of us are like sitting in front of our computers doing whatever we are doing. And then कितना ही दे दोगे? And obviously the person is not going to पूरी ऑफिस की बसर थोड़ी बताने लग जाएंगे वो तुम्हें अपनी या तुम उन्हें. तो ठीक है, I know this is like a very common question, but then we can come up with better questions.
Okay, digressing a little, but to this question, Sunny, you are somebody who actually loves communicating what happened with your day, and you are that energetic person who wants to also download what happened with you, right? Because that's a major part of your life. So when you download that to a person, a prospective match or a prospective partner,
I don't do that very soon.
No, but in fact, you have to do that, because you have to see that are they even interested? Can they even sit around listening to you yapping about it every day?
Yeah, I know. That is a thing which I do maybe when I'm like I don't know, 2 weeks into the talking stage. जो कि भी नहीं हो रहा है यार बहुत दिन से ऐसे, मतलब I don't want to start ranting on how single I am. Anyway, please ask me the next question already.
Okay, this is question number 9 from the list. For what in your life do you feel most grateful about?
I was the person who put this list together, and I was like, जान के ना मैंने कई ऐसे questions डाले जो मुझे थोड़ा से सोचने शायद पड़े about. So I was like, this is one of those questions. Because anyway, so see, I always say this to people, that you should be grateful for small things also in your life. So I think I am grateful mostly for very, very small things in my life, and that changes from day to day. And I am a person who is grateful for other people as well if they do something good. So I don't know, for me it's like, I think for in general, we just don't take our health that seriously, especially us young folks. We are like, even like our parents, we don't care that much about our health. But having like a healthy body and a healthy mind is like a very important thing. And if you have it, please treasure it and do everything in your power to maintain it or strengthen it, is what I would say. Because ये हमेशा होता है मेरे साथ तो when I come across someone who is facing, especially if it is like a physical condition, and obviously mental health is also very important, but yeah, when someone is facing a physical health related something, I get so scared listening to it, and I'm like, damn, हम इतने आराम से चल फिर पाते हैं, बातें कर पाते हैं, सारी चीजें खुद से कर पाते हैं, our body and mind is working, right? So that is also a blessing, but we are not grateful for it on a day-to-day basis. We should be. So yeah,
right. And I want to also say that at some future episode, I want to talk about Love is Blind and how blind people love, because very recently I went to a blind school. Okay.
Oh.
And it is one of my मतलब मेरा दिल ना मतलब before I was going I was so anxious, मेरा दिल मतलब ना फट के चार हो रहा था. I was like यार I can't do this because for me when I see a blind person crossing a road or going and traveling, मेरे को बहुत दुख होता है कि यार we are so privileged to have everything and then we still cry about things.
I know, same.
And when you have one of your senses, which is one of the most treasured senses, which is sight, right? You can't see. You love unconditionally. I saw the bond between blind people and they were so pure and so nice, and I was like yaar, we with all our abilities and all our things that we have in our control, we are still going and doing stupid things and choosing stupid people and accepting stupid things that happens to us. I don't think we should be like that. So I would encourage people to go to orphanages or blind schools and see the kind of unconditional love that actually exists in the world, right? So yeah, we will talk about that as well. But yeah, very nice. I think we should be grateful about the things that we've been given and the life that we've given. I think that's the most important.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, we'll move on to the next question. This is question 19 on the list, which says, if you knew that in 1 year you would die suddenly, would you change anything about the way you are now living, and why?
Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of people say that we would not want to know when we die, but I think I would want to know when I die because like I said, I want to make an impact on people's lives. And if I can't make an impact on somebody's life in, let's say, 1 year, at least I will go to the people and tell them what I wanted to do with them and how I felt about them. And I absolutely go and do everything that I want. I would also take up salsa classes for a week. I would go skydiving. I would do the most dangerous things that I have never even thought of doing, or something that was off my list, something that I was like, ये सबसे घटिया चीज है, ये मैं कभी नहीं करूंगा. I'd probably even do that, right? Because life is all about experiencing. Some things that you experience are of your choosing, and most of the things that you experience are not of your choosing. So it'll be a blend of those things, but I'll be most happy to actually spend my time with people that I love and cherish all of those memories and moments.
I think I would not want to know बहुत पहले से that I'm going to die, but just 1 year before, let me know, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the most adventurous things possible. I'm going because I know I'm anyway going to die after 1 year, right? So let me just go for it. I'll literally live my heart out. I'll do whatever the hell I want. जैसे ऐसे ही नहीं करती हूँ, ऐसे भी करती हूँ, but like 2-3 level और उसके ऊपर. Anyway.
Right. So the next question, which is question number 12 from the list, is if you could wake up tomorrow having gained one quality or an ability, what would it be?
I want an ability, sort of like a superpower to read.
Could be super or not super, but anything ability.
हाँ, मेरे दिमाग में superpower है. So I want the ability to read people's mind.
Interesting.
So that people for once, दो चीजों का कारण. एक तो men, please learn how to communicate. Okay, women, you also learn how to communicate. Again, this is not like me targeting one specific gender, but in general I've seen women are talkers, but ऐसा नहीं होता है. I am a talker because I'm an extrovert, not because I'm a woman. And this is not related to gender, but still मैंने ये notice करा है कि even an introvert woman, when she is like close to someone, अगर उसे कुछ बुरा लगता है ना, they let you know. Basically, usually they let you know. We are not, we don't usually keep a lot of things in our mind. We'll say it out. Is what I've seen. Women love talking about it.
Yeah.
But men, on the other hand, usually मैंने जिनको देखा है, they are not very good with their emotions and they don't want to communicate or express them. So I'm just saying that please, बोला करो, तभी पता लगेगा. So now coming to the point, I would love to read people's minds, क्योंकि अगर कोई कुछ जो बोलना चाह रहा है पर नहीं बोल पा रहा है, I would still be able to read it and know क्या है. And this is a very good ability which every overthinker would kill for, because overthinkers की बेचारी आधी जिंदगी यही सोचने में लग जाती है कि यार ये क्या था, ये जो मैंने बोला इसका क्या इफेक्ट होगा, इसने क्या सोचा होगा, आगे क्या होगा, and all of that. Like पता चल रहा है ना क्या सोच रहा है. And then another reason is no one would be able to dupe me because people are freaking liars, and then I would be able to read their mind and know what they're thinking.
Interesting. And this is what I wanted to talk about in that blind love wala episode, is ये कितना simple है, हम ये आज कर सकते हैं. If we all chose to be honest with people and ask them point blank questions, what do you think about it, what do you want, what do you care about?
But people don't have to lie and be honest and their answers as well, right? ना लोग usually क्या करते हैं कि मान ले हम तो questions honest पूछ लेते हैं, मैं अपने honest answers दे रही हूँ, but that person is trying to dupe me, so तो क्या कर सकते हैं?
Exactly. And that is the reason why you actually have a good filtering mechanism and choose and ask them the most hardest of questions and see if they can consistently answer those questions. तो ability की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. Pester them. ये इसका जवाब बता, तू बता, लिख के दे.
यार, see, again, मैं बहुत बोलती हूँ मैं extrovert हूँ, but actually I'm an ambivert. So I have now started describing it as 70% extrovert and 30% introvert. So the introvert person in me जब वो थोड़ा take over करती है, तो it's like कि yeah, but why bother people? Give them their space. I don't want to be asking so many questions and like getting in people's space because I am very huge on my personal space. So मुझे समझ नहीं आता कि what is right the right blend of asking questions and being interested and also like then pulling away a little bit. So yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway, we will go to the next question, which is sort of like a deep question. This is question 24 on the list, which says, how do you feel about your relationship with your mother? I knew this was a big one and I just put it in there because I asked this person beforehand and he was like, I'm okay with deep questions. I'm like, okay, then I'll put some in.
Which is fine. See, I've had the most complicated relations with my mother in the sense that I was a difficult child, and no, not a difficult child in the sense कि मैंने बहुत बर्बादी करी है लाइफ में, ड्रग्स नहीं करा, मैंने बहुत दारू नहीं पी, वैसे कर नहीं करे, पर मैं बहुत जिद्दी था. I've always been rebellious about what I wanted to do in life and how I wanted to lead my life, right? And in that sense, there were phases in my life, in my teenage, in my early 20s, where I was very irritating and I was irritated with life and a lot of us happening around me. And my mother took most of the brunt, right? I've treated her very poorly also in some sense. But now as I'm getting older, like I said, I'm realizing the value of people in my life. Now I'm in this year, in the last 6, 7, 8 months, I've been very close to my mother. I've always respected my mother. I've been very generally close to my mother. But I've not been a very loving son in the way that I could have been, right? Expressing what I want. Sometimes आप चिढ़ के अपने parents को बोल देते हो कि ये क्यों कर रहे हो, वो क्यों कर रहे हो, right? Now I'm very appreciative because my personality has changed in this last 1 year where I've become more accepting of people, more accepting of the situations in my life. I've started giving more love to my mother, and so this year my Masi asked my mother, it was her birthday a couple of days ago. So my Masi asked, what did Aurick give you on your birthday? So we were on a video call. So I said, this year I gave my mother a loving son.
Oh, right? Sweet.
So now I'm actually more expressive. I go hug her, kiss her, like, Mama, I love you. And it is not, I've never been a mama's boy, right? I've done always what I wanted to do, but I've realized that my mother has actually sacrificed a lot. And in fact, the person that I am today, it's because she supported me to be unorthodox. She supported me in times when I said, I don't want to do this, but I want to do that, right? So yeah, I actually...
And I have this conversation with my mom as well. I am closer to my mom than I am to my dad. But anyway, I say this to my mom. In fact, my mom says this to me. Sometimes she's like, sometimes I regret, obviously the joke, making you or giving you the space to be this rebellious because like you said, right? कभी-कभी हमें ये नहीं realize होता, we are so naive. We think कि, oh, I am, so open and so unabashed and I have the ability to speak my mind. But who do you think gave us that platform when we were growing up? We were always encouraged to speak up and we were never told like, nahi, tum apni baatein apne tak rakho. Our points were heard. भले ही उस पे back and forth हुआ होगा, but we were given that platform kahin na kahin. So yeah,
and I think it's part of evolution also. When you evolve as a person, you realize who were instrumental in your life, and you don't have to be angry for what the world is doing to you on the wrong people or the like I said, right? If I'm angry with something in my life, I can't be getting angry on my co-workers or on you, Saniya, or on my mother or my sister. You have to be very cognizant about, yes, the situations are like that, but that is not in your control. You can control how you behave in the world and how you treat other people. So
yes, absolutely. That is a very, I think, green flag, red flag sort of a thing. I don't like when people take out their other life frustrations on you without any koi lena dena. Bhai, ranting it out or sharing ya dukhi hona ya apne mein sad ho, that is a different thing. But actually being angry with other people for something that someone else has done or your own situation is very, very bad. I think that is a red flag too.
Absolutely. So, all right. So the next question is question number 13 from the list, lucky number 13. If you had a crystal ball that could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, your future, or anything else, what would you want to know?
This is an interesting one. I would actually want to know when I would achieve certain goals in my life, both professional and personal. So yeah, I would just want to know. I just need like an ETA. I am now remembering that meme which says ki, God, I know, I understand, I'm being patient that when is my partner going to come, but if you could just tell me the ETA, if you could just give me the tracking link, then I would be helpful. That would be helpful. So yeah, kind of like that.
Interesting.
Okay, so the next question is, question 30 on the list, which says, when did you last cry in front of another person or by yourself?
Ooh. Listen, I cry a lot. Okay?
Oh, I'm a crier as well.
Yeah. I cry when I watch a Disney Pixar movie and something nice happens, I cry. I look at a blind person crossing the road, I cry. I do something act of niceness for somebody, I sometimes have tears in my eyes, which is fine. But I have also cried in pain. I've also cried in heartbreaks. I've cried all sorts of things. I think crying actually releases,
Yes, I agree.
energies and stuff. In fact, there was a point in my life when I was stupid and nascent and 13-year-old or a teenager, like in my late teens also. I used to get very, very strong in the sense that I would not cry, right? Like that is what has been told to guys generally also.
Sadly.
You should not cry and all of that. But I would be like, nahi, rona nahi hai. But I would realize that I'm not able to control that thing. एक point आता था within an argument or within a situation when I have cried. Once one tear has rolled down, I am the most unstoppable person after that. I'm the most unapologetic. I will bash you like a Thor, क्या कहते हैं, or smack you like Hulk kind of a person. I don't care. मैं अपने सारे emotions अंदर रोक रहा था, but एक बार जब मैं ज्वालामुखी की तरफ फट गया, मेरा एक आंसू निकल गया, उसके बाद there is nobody who can put me down. So that is one invincibility thing that I realized, and now I've realized that it is okay to cry. If you feel like crying, you should cry. There have been times now, though I don't worry about anxiety anymore, but back in 2018 I had a little bit of anxiety phase going on in my life, and I realized that I would just burst out crying for things that were not happening in my life. For being supremely single, I used to cry ki yaar mere life mein koi kyun nahi hai, I'm this person, I'm still not getting anybody. I used to literally cry about it, and I used to tell the universe and the moon and stuff like that ki bhai kyun nahi ho raha hai mere sath. But now, for the first time in my life, touch wood wherever wood is, but yeah, right here. So for the first time in my life, I'm very happily single, right? I've never actually experienced what being happily single is, and we'll probably make an episode about it, but I'm very careful.
We made one on singlehood, but yeah, we can
we'll talk about it, because now the thing is that I am happily single in a way that I am still romantic. I'm looking forward for my partner to come. Crystal ball de do, main to kal hi kya kehte hain, special delivery bhi kara raha hu ki abhi instant prime delivery karo. But I am also in a place where I'm very happy by myself. I am preparing myself when that person comes. She has the best version of me ready for her, so that we can actually...
that is, and I think I was speaking about this with someone, and then also agar तूने भी देखा होगा, there is this episode and conversation between Jay Shetty and Michael Hussey, I think. So both of them talk about love relationships and all of that. Ki, what is the worst thing or worst advice or the best love advice that you've received? And uspe it was said that all of us have lists in our mind, right? Ki mujhe aisa insaan chahiye, waisa insaan chahiye. And to what you said, if you have a list in your mind, fine, you can have a list in your mind. First, you have to be that list. If you have something in your mind कि मुझे ऐसा इंसान चाहिए, पहले तुम तो वो offer करो. First, you be that person, and then for sure, 100% you can, you I think are entitled to expect that in return as well, because you are already bringing it to the table. So why not?
Absolutely true that you will attract what you are. Yeah. उतनी सी बात है. League above you, league below you is not going to come to you. Also, that league wala jo perspective hai from a relationship standpoint, I don't think leagues exist if you prepare yourself to be in the next league or a league above or twice the league above.
Yeah, if you have a plan in action and you think that you can be in that league, then yeah, by all means.
बाहर वाले लोग हमें तभी उतना वैल्यू कर पाएंगे जब हम अपने आप को उतना वैल्यू करते हैं, right? So if I see myself as a person who is very high value, only then will other people be convinced that he is high value.
For sure, because then your actions will also change. You will respect the moment you start loving and respecting yourself more. That energy is that can be seen by people. So yeah, they will treat you how you are treating yourself. So.
Absolutely. So I'll ask you the next question, which is question 20 from the list, which we've done an episode also on, which is Pyar Dosti Hai question mark. So this question is, many romantic relationships start off as friendships. So what does friendship mean to you?
Okay, so actually this is true. I have, like Aurick said, spoken about this multiple times, and relationships should actually have friendship as a base, and that is literally how they should start. I think that is a very healthy base to have. And I recently met like a couple, like these people are my friends, and in fact there were two couples in the group. One had like a different sort of relationship. Both are like very loving relationships. Both of these people are married now. One of the relationships was a 10-12 year or lamba relationship, and they, I think, they knew each other since school. and they were in a relationship pretty early on, probably from the age of like 16 or something, and then they finally got married recently. So their equation was entirely based on friendship. Like obviously they were in love. There were moments throughout the night when they were being very romantic to each other, and I saw them being very attentive to each other's needs as well, which is a very good thing. But then otherwise they were so playful with each other, like proper best friend wali vibe, which I want. So anyway, यहाँ पे the question is कि what does friendship mean to you? So I would say कि since I hold friendship and relationship almost to the same standard, I know that's like not that possible because आजकल तो relationship में कोई कुछ नहीं कर रहा है, तो friendship की क्या ही बात है. But I value my friendships, which is why when people tell me, ask me, is this person your friend? Sometimes I use the word acquaintance instead of friend, because मैं जब friend बोलती हूँ, that means a lot to me. So for me, it's like time, effort, and all of that. And if for me it is like, agar I can turn to this person in my times of need and vice versa as well. If I have that trust in them, then for sure that is like, those are some things which I definitely look for in a friendship, and also obviously why not also in a relationship. So yeah, trust is important. So. Okay, so the next question is, and I want to hear your answer on this, because question 32 is, what if anything is too serious to be joked about? Because I think you would have an opinion on this.
I was a very touchy person pehle to. Now I'm very open-minded. Like I sometimes now joke about that I'm way too open-minded about things in this country, for this country at least. But I think touchy topics would be about demeaning people.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody has the right to demean anybody. In fact, in my old life, I've also done that. I've been stupid enough, or in my hubris, I've actually demeaned other people. But I've realized that everybody is different and everybody brings a different value. And not everybody has to be like you or like anybody else, or has to be successful or a failure, right? It is their life choices, their paristhithis, their everything else. So I think if you unnecessarily, unabashedly demean someone, I think that is not acceptable to me.
I agree.
And I don't think people should also
disrespect in the form of a so-called joke is an absolute red flag and should not be done.
Right. While nothing is actually out of context when somebody wants to joke about something, but I think the setting also matters for me. So imagine if you're in a very serious setting and where you need to be serious, right? You say a half-ass joke like Ryan Reynolds, or to be witty, you can do that. But if you say that I'm talking about our finances or our relationship or our taking the next step of marriage, you can't joke around in that situation. Right? Maybe you can start with a joke, but you have to get serious about it. If you consistently joke about something where you're not supposed to joke, I'm not going to respect you as a person.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Okay, interesting. So the next question, which is the second last question, this is question number 9 from the way we are playing this game, but this is question number 21 on the list. What roles do you love and affection play? What roles do love and affection play in your life?
Yeah, I think love and affection play a huge part in my life. So I keep telling this to people, and that is the truth. Sometimes I feel maybe I'm too invested in this topic in general, because I actually love talking about love, relationships, and all of that. All of the people around me know. So I like listening to people's stories about this and all of that. So, and basically, in short, love in general, I think there is a lot of love to give also. It is not just romantic love, because we usually, in our pursuit of trying to find the one or whatever it is, we sometimes get a little bit morose कि यार कोई नहीं मिल रहा है वैसा कुछ. But then if you step back and you look at your life and you realize the people that are already there in your life, that is also out of love, because आजकल actually कोई किसी की जिंदगी में ऐसे ही नहीं रहता है. So if someone or you are also choosing to be in another person's life in whatever capacity, be it could be a friendship, your siblings, your parents, जो भी है जिनसे भी आप close हो, so that is also out of love. So love definitely for me plays a huge part in my life, and I actually value and respect love, and I think things that are done out of love are actually very pure, real love. Okay, which is not filled with malice. But sadly, when I say this statement, I realize it's very, very idealistic. And I've also realized that love in general has now kind of become like a business deal, where it is like, okay, this is my list, I want this is your list, you want this, it does this match? So it is literally like a business deal. Okay, I am getting this out of you and you're getting this out of me, which is why we are
That
together.
is exactly what is called transactional love.
Yeah.
You're being just transactional about what you want from each other. And see, that is where people are missing the whole point of love and affection and emotions, is that the underlying feeling comes from your innate being, right? Who you are and what you want from life. And if you want to share that with somebody, or if there are gaps in what you feel in the world and what you get from the world, if that partner or the person can come and actually fulfill those things, that is what is love is all about. It's not about मेरे को ये चाहिए, मेरे को ये चाहिए, तो तेरे को भी यही देना पड़ेगा. That is not what love is all
exactly.
about. So, yeah.
Okay, so this is a fun question, and this is the last question for you for today, which is question 34. Your house containing everything you own catches fire. After saving your loved ones and pets, you have time to safely make a final dash to save any one item. What would it be and why?
Interesting question. Now, every time I answer any question, or in fact, now I go on dates also, I realize कि यार मैं जो भी था 10 साल पहले, अब मैं वो नहीं हूँ इंसान. In fact, the Myers-Briggs test of 16 personalities जो मैंने आज से 10 साल पहले ली थी, this time I took again last week, and I'm like, यार, the answers have actually changed for me because I have changed as a person. But मैं पहले बहुत materialistic था. ठीक है, I was like, मेरी चीजें, मेरे possessions, I've bought this. But now I'm like, यार, cheesy to hai. If it's my latest iPhone, if it burns, let it burn. If it goes down the drain, let it go. I'll buy another one, right? What is most important is your life and what you care and to do with it, right? So, अगर मैंने सब कुछ बचा लिया है, तो I think the one thing that I would save is the gifts that have been given to me, or by my loved ones, or something that is actually which I can't replicate again. Something that can't be replicated. If it's just another thing that can be mass produced, I don't give a two shits about it. But if that has been given to me, if it's just one
यार लोग इसका आईफोन चुरा लो प्लीज. He does not value his iPhone, ये तो पता लगा है.
इंश्योरेंस नाम की भी चीज होती है. But ठीक है. Yeah. So that is one thing. If somebody's crafted something, or if there are emotions filled in a object or a thing, or a feeling is induced because of that object, then I would like to save it. But otherwise, nothing is more worthy than the people and the things that you care about, at least pets and people. यार ये बंदा बातें तो इतनी अच्छी करता है, इतने अच्छे सवाल जवाब करता है, मतलब सवाल भी बहुत करता है, इसलिए आई सेट सवाल जवाब भी बड़े अच्छे अच्छे दे. यार इसको लड़की भगवान जल्दी दिला दे अच्छी सी कोई. यार लड़की तो दिला दे, प्रॉब्लम नहीं है ना, लोग सुनने चाहते नहीं है, they want, well, again, transactional thing. And the point is, by the time you get to know these deeper questions, you are bombarded with 5,000 other men trying to hit on you, right? When do you have the time? And that's why I think this questions makes more sense in today's day and age, because you deliberately play it with one-on-one with somebody, चाहे वो phone पे खेलो, text पे खेलो, या I तो would prefer ऐसे phone पे, मतलब it should be a conversation. हाँ, phone पे, text पे, या just be like, आज मिलते हैं, खाना खाते हैं, and let's talk about these things. Face to face तो best. If you do this, because क्या होगा ना, anyways you're choosing people on different parameters, right? जब आप ये खेल लोगे, now you have a baseline that मैंने सबसे यही questions पूछ लिए हैं, मेरे को इसमें से अब कौन अच्छा लग रहा है, किसके आंसर्स मेरे को बहुत endearing लगे, किसके आंसर्स मेरे को बहुत sensible लगे, किसके साथ मुझे अपना जीवन बिताना है. That's the whole thing. Bring a baseline, bring a contrast in your life. So that is what this question does, or any other question that you might have. Ask it to different people and please eliminate fatafat and settle down with someone. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. So the last question for you, Saniya, which is question number 26 from the list, which is just a statement you have to finish, which is, I wish I had someone with whom I could share dash. See, I feel, again, talking about love, I feel I have a lot of love in my heart to give out. So any person, again, I'm not being braggy about it, just clarifying. I'm just saying that any person who gets to experience all of the love that I have to give would also be in the, like, uske liye bhi bahut hi acha hi hone wala. It's not going to be a bad experience. So all I wish for at this moment, I would say someone that I could share my love with. That's it. Obviously, again, having said about this just isse pehle in the previous question, the answer to it, I definitely share my love with the people around me. But yeah, I have more to give. So yeah. Okay, interesting. Efforts and time. Could you sum that up? कि भाई मेरे को effort भी देना है और time भी देना है. Is that what sharing your love and affection means to you? Yeah, I think मुझसे किसी ने I think recently पूछा भी था कि how do you, okay, also this is an important question which I think you should ask your dates, is how do you, what is your love language, okay? And how do you feel loved and how do you express love? Both of those questions. So my answer to that question was time, effort and energy. If I am giving you my time and energy, I value my time and energy a lot. So if I'm giving you that, then that is how I am expressing my love to you. And
also the other way around. I also notice if someone is taking time out of their lives and actually spending it with me, or making plans with me, or talking to me, even if it is like one text, one call, I highly appreciate it, because I absolutely know कि यार मैं भी busy हूँ, वो भी busy है, but अगर time निकाल के तुम एक दूसरे से फिर भी मिल रहे हो और बातें कर रहे हो, then I value that a lot. So yeah.
Interesting. So how was this experience playing this game?
Yeah, it was fun. I think people should definitely play this game, but I still feel that it should not be a texting thing, because this feels deeper than a text.
Yeah, well, again, I would say that if you play this on text, it's gonna be easier because now you have answers to that you can tell people कि भाई मैंने पिछले इस बंदी के साथ खेला था, मैं इसको भी भेज
यार
दूं.
तो
Because
PDF
see,
बनाने वाली चीज,
exactly,
but
PDF
I
बनाने वाली
know,
चीज.
but यार
But also I'll tell you why on text, right? I started playing this with somebody, and it was on text. And why it was on text is because if they're busy through the day, if they can't answer, some of these questions are very deep questions. You need the right set of mindset also to deal with these questions. So ठीक है, अपने हिसाब से, अपने time के हिसाब से you answer whenever you want to answer.
True, because
Also you can go back and review then, ना इसने क्या बोला था इसके ऊपर.
Oh
and then
my
you can, if you compare, and if you're into analysis, अच्छा एक क्या कहते हैं आइटम खरीदने के लिए आप 5 जगह पूछते हो या 5 जगह विंडो शॉपिंग करते हो.
अभी तो बोला कि नहीं, ट्रांजैक्शनल नहीं करनी है,
ट्रांजैक्शन नहीं, बट अरे मैं कह रहा हूँ क्या कहते हैं इसको, कॉन्ट्रास्टिंग या बेसलाइन आपने आप देख लिया कि दिस इज व्हाट आई सेड टू समवन एंड देन दिस इज व्हाट दिस पर्सन सेड, वर्सेस इफ यू हैव नाउ यू नो कम डाउन स्ट्रीम डाउन टू 2 people, who would you now say कि किसको मेरे को ज्यादा तवज्जो देना है.
यार मेरे को तो ऐसे 2 लोग कभी भी नहीं पसंद आते साथ में, मेरे को कोई पसंद आता है तो बस आ जाता है.
Because you are an outlier, na? That's the whole problem. Because today women at least have 10 people around them. You have 0 around you at any point in time.
I don't know. I think I actively push away people.
झाड़ा वाड़ा करवाओ सारे.
हाँ, and then मैं तो बोलती हूँ ना, मैं तो वो कितनी 1000 बार वो लाइन बोलती हूँ, but that is relevant कि जो मुझे पसंद है उससे मैं पसंद नहीं हूँ, और जिसे मैं पसंद हूँ वो मुझे पसंद नहीं है. So क्या ही करूँ मैं? So that is how it is.
Interesting. We're going to do one social experiment with you also and see if we can find you a good partner. And if that happens, then we'll tell them how that happened and who was responsible for it.
हाँ, ठीक है, we will.
Cool. On that happy note, this episode comes a day earlier, which is on Valentine's Day, and we thought we should do something little more serious because everything's becoming too frivolous. Gifts and all, lovey-dovey and love languages, which can also be said.
Our initial idea was कि should we do the traditional way and Valentine's special, but then this was like, this felt to be deeper and smarter than that, so we're like, let's do this. This is cooler.
Okay.
So, yeah.
On that note, have a great Valentine's week, people. I hope you find love, and I hope I find love. I hope Saniya finds love. Everybody's happy in love. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.